Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 with Zebu Nation. And today is a very, very big day as we chase our first ever major championship, first ever major piece of silverware as we go after glory in the final of the U.S. Cup. Today we're going to be playing against none other than the Colorado Rapids. Take a look at the cup. Let's view the stages. So of course this stage we just have Colorado versus Cincinnati. We can look at the tree maybe. No, they just shown us the final tree. How about the semifinal tree? Sure, there we are. That's a little better. So Colorado edged out Houston 1-0. Whereas we had a fairly dominant performance over DC United in the semifinal. So we're looking pretty good. We're looking very strong coming into this one. And we'll see, let's take a look at Colorado. Let's see what Colorado's been up to these days. First of all, we got their roster, and it shows you how little we play these guys. We don't even have a scouting report on these guys. We know nothing about their players. Let's take a look at the squad registration. They've got 20 players registered. They're nearly $1 million under the cap, so they've got a lot of room to maneuver, but it is the end of the season, so there's really not much they can do about it, or not much they probably want to do about it. They're going to go into the off-season with what they've got, or the postseason, I should say. What they do have is 9 internationals, so they picked up another international slot somewhere along the way, probably in one of their myriad trades that they made this year. They do have 3 designated players, 6 of their 10 off-budget players, so I think if they had a few more off-budget players, then this roster would be very healthy. As it is right now, they're missing 4 players, so that's probably why their roster's down to 20, because they have 3 players on the disabled list. These guys are going to be out for the rest of the season. You know, there's no time really to pull them off the disabled list. And then they have Dylan Cerna, who's also injured. He's going to be returning to training soon. Take a look at these guys, see if we can get some measure of how good they are. Their designated players are very interesting. Look at this character, Emerson Hindman. Some of you might be familiar with him. I got familiar with him, I think, in FM18, maybe FM17, I don't recall, where I coached the Wolves, and I picked this guy up to play in over there in England. Now, he was already over there, but I picked him up because he was a young American player with some potential. Take a look at him now. Started out at Fulham. Moved to Bournemouth for $1 million in 2016-2017. Since then, sort of went out on loan. Got 1 appearance in the Premier Division in 2017-18 season. Then went back out on loan until finally being picked up on a free by Colorado this year. So that's a huge get for Colorado. They get a young 24-year-old American designated player. That's that's a luxury to get an American designated player, or somebody worthy of a designated player. He's got nice pace and acceleration. He's not the most physically intimidating guy. 5'8", 132 pounds, not very strong, not great jumping reach. He does have very good mentals, very good technicals for an MLS player, so he can do a lot of good stuff there from the midfield. They also have Kellen Acosta as a designated player, another young American, 25-year-old, valued at $5.25 million, a very similar player to Hindman, except maybe a little bit more defensive. He's a guy who can play fullback, he can play defensive midfielder, he can play a lot of different roles for the team. And then their young designated international, 23-year-old South African, Teboho McKenna, possibly. Another speedy midfielder. Very technically sound, great passing, tackling. First touch. So they got a lot of resources dedicated to their midfield. I don't know how I feel about that. Hopefully the rest of their team is strong. They've got a lot of value going on here with their international players. So if these international players are as good as their value suggests, then Colorado, it's no surprise that they're doing so well. Take a look at their transfer history this year. You can see they brought in several players this year, a couple from their academy, and then the rest, they brought them in for, some small fees and some free. They got a draft pick there from Portland, Chara, ball-winning midfielder. He's a guy who's probably not going to play a lot for them. Definitely a reserve type player. He's actually listed, so there's no question there. But their big moves this year were in trades. They made a lot of trades this year, traded away a lot of their draft picks. Looks like they're going to, their philosophy was to build through international players and build through designated players. So they changed up their philosophy, spending a little bit more money as opposed to just sort of going with the flow and going with the roster building mechanics that are provided to you by MLS. So it's an interesting team. What have they done this year in competitions? I expected to see them at the top of the league. Look at them. They're all the way down here in 20th place. That's no good. 9th place in the Western Conference. Only 30 points on the season, 9 points back of Sporting KC. It looks like Colorado's going to miss out on the playoffs. That's surprising. Their team looks better than that. But I guess putting all your eggs in one basket isn't paying off for Colorado this season. Maybe the injury bug hit them too hard and they couldn't deal with it. I don't know. But something definitely happened with Colorado. I guess you call this a rebuilding year. All the trades they made, all the new players they brought in, probably a new coach. It's hard to tell that sometimes, but let's see. Let's take a look. Who is their coach currently? Oscar Pareja. He's a very good coach. When was he brought in? Colorado head coach, yeah. So he's brought in this season. So hopefully they give Oscar, another season to get his program in order, rebuilding this club after he was the LA Galaxy coach last season. That's pretty funny. We'll see. We'll see what old Oscar has for us today in the U.S. Cup final. So let's get to the game. It's actually a couple of days away. All right. So I was a little bit anxious to get back. It's been a while since I recorded. Had a lot of games in the can, a lot of recordings already done, and I've been just sort of living off that fat. But now we got to get back into it, get back into the swing. So I'm going to pause it here and get to today's game. Okay, we are back. It is game day. Look at this. Hey, we got jerseys. How about that? Got actual stripy jerseys, not just the plain old blue like normal, so that's cool. Colorado 6-4 favorites in the home maroon. Is that their color? Is their color maroon and blue? I guess. I don't know. But anyway, their biggest strength is tackling. Top goal scorer is their weakness. So once again, Colorado is a defensive-minded team. That seems to be their culture up there in Colorado, is to be a bit of a defensive-minded team, at least recently. Maybe not, maybe not traditionally, but at least recently, and at least in FM, they seem to be a defensive-style team. And we actually did get a team... a little bit of a team report on them. So Hendeman is a good player, just as we thought, a 4-star player. Costa's very good. So again, their midfield is very solid. Very, very solid. Defensively, they're okay. I mean, they're pretty decent, top to bottom. Let's take a look at their picked players. they're not great defensively, but they're just very solid in the middle. It just looks like attacking and going forward is where they're a little bit thin, even though they do have some decent players. They're going to be playing an injured player, apparently. Dylan Cerna, not quite fully fit. Yeah, so they got some issues depth-wise, but we'll see. Take a look at our team selection here. Going with the Z formation, the reverse Z formation even. Had to, of course, bring in our American players. We got Zendejas on the bench, Clute, Wilson, Akugo, Shelton, Acosta, and Hembut on the bench. So a bit of an interesting bench today. Got a few guys lacking match sharpness. Just come back from some sort of layoff. I think it was an international layoff of some kind. So a lot of guys lost some fitness. But here we go. Starting lineup. Zach Steffen in goal. Nuhu and the rookie Blackman at the fullback positions. Richards and Glad in the central defense, I mean. You know, we've had a lot of different starting combinations in central defense, but all of these guys are pretty good, pretty comparable. So we just stuck our two Americans back there, and they're, you know, they can do the job. And they've got a little bit of cohesion together, so that's fine. Alashe in at the Segundo Volante position. Richie Salvador in the midfield. DeVries, Crispum, Sonora up top with Fernando Adi, the captain, leading the way. 10 goals, 1 assist, 7.02 average on the season. Let's see if he can improve on that. Meanwhile, they've got the Brazilian Andre in goal. 21 appearances, 27 concessions. That's not terrible. Vines, Smith, Schoberg, and looks like a rookie Arnold at right back. What do we know about Arnold? 8 starts, 4 appearances, 1 assist, 6.94 average rating, so he's done okay. Tommy Smith, T-Dog is their captain at central defense. 2 goals, 6.91 rating. There's Maneka there, or McKenna, I mean, McKenna at the midfield with Hindeman. Acosta playing attacking midfield. That's an interesting position for him. 5 goals, 7.06 rating, so he has, you know, I guess adapted well to that. Cerna on the left is their leading assist man. 5 assists on the seasons. Dennis Diekmeyer, 4 assists on the season, 6.77 rating, and then Gonsalves up top, their top goal scorer with 8 goals in 33 appearances. That's not great, but, you know, it's what happens sometimes in MLS. You just don't get a lot of goal scorers. All right, you deserve to win and a trophy. I expect you to win it. Let's go, boys. Win trophies. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to do what we do. All right, everything looks fine. Let's get to the tunnel. We are away today. Sprung a few surprises. How about the assistant? How's that for a surprise? Take that. We are in Colorado. Nearly a full house. 17,000. We got a good away section here. We got a few people didn't quite make the trip from Cincinnati to Colorado. It's hard to blame them on this short notice, but hey, what are you going to do? There's Cerna. He is, in fact, fairly injured. Barnes, one of their reserves, is incredibly injured. Here's the first highlight throw-in. Nuhu gets it to Crispum. DeVries. Let's set the offense, boys. Richie Salvador. Nice pass forward to Crispum. Crispum looking. He's going to take the shot, and he scores. He and Acosta have been practicing that move. You know, he doesn't fire it in with quite the authority that Acosta usually does, but look at this. It's the same move. Let's pause it. Can we go to... Oh, I'm a little rusty at the telestrator. All right, so this is some new technology we've been demonstrating in our college series. But here we go. Richie Salvador gets the pass forward to Acosta, and he takes it around the defenders and gets to this spot. This is a spot that both he... No, I'm sorry, this is Crispum. Both Crispum and Acosta love this spot right here. They get here, and he just fires it in. Bang. Right past the goalkeeper. Great play, great pass, and it's something they appear to be working on. I don't know. Whatever they're doing, I approve of it. Let's watch the play. There's Crispum. Gets, look at that, just around the defense. A little pick, perhaps. A little pick play there by, who was that? I think that was Adi, who set a little pick, a little screen for Crispum to run around and get that goal. All right, here's Colorado. 6 minutes in. McKenna has it for their first highlight. Can they even it up? Here's Hindeman. Can't let him just stride into the box like that. No, not team instructions. Opposition instructions. Where's Hindeman? We're going to tightly mark him. Just because I really don't want him just doing what he did right there. McKenna also. I should probably mark him also. We just mark everybody. I don't know. Close down on Acosta. There we go. Change it up. Okay, so here's a goal kick. Boots it downfield. Vines has it. Senora putting on the pressure. Andre getting definitely pressured by Adi. Has to boot it away. Acosta can't win it. DeVries on the attack, looking. He's taking it himself, and he fires it wide. That's not really DeVries' specialty. He's more of a setup man. I'd rather have him take it wide than dive through the middle of the box like that. But he didn't really have a lot of choice. 8 long shots. Not really what we want him doing. Got much better options there. Here we go. 13 minutes down. A lot of highlights here. Crispum wins it to DeVries. See if DeVries, a little sneaky back heel there to Crispum. All right, Alashe is going to start the attack. Gets it out wide. Intercepted. Pass to Senora was not a good one. Here's Colorado slow to start the counterattack. They're going to work it upfield. Work it through that midfield of theirs. Can't blame them. They got a lot of money invested in those 3 players. Right here in the midfield. These 3 guys. Many millions of dollars. Good defensive play by Blackman, not letting them get wide. Crispum now is going to start the attack. Sonora's got some space across midfield. He's getting challenged there by McKenna. Good tackle by Richie Salvador, the youngster, showing these veterans how to play. Can he make a great pass? He gets one out to Sonora. Sonora centers to Crispum with the shot. Attacking midfield position is paying off for us this season. A lot of goals coming from that exact spot. Not going to telestrate this one. A lot going on here. Salvador gets the pass out wide to Sonora. He's collapsed on, but he centers it wide open as Crispum. Again, we have 2 players there in the middle acting as sort of screens for the attacking center mid who just blasted in the back of the goal. What's Crispum's long shooting ability? Only 10, but he's on fire today. 18 minutes in. Salvador, Crispum, we got another highlight here. DeVries taking it wide. Can he get some space? Not really. That's a risky pass to Nuhu. But he saves it. Salvador, Crispum, DeVries. DeVries taking it inside. He's going to shoot. Oh, my gosh. We're battering Colorado. The fans are going wild. They don't know what to do. They're yelling. They're screaming. Waving their hands in fury. DeVries just, the defense backs off, and then the keeper somewhat out of position. But what can you do when the defense lets him just stride within 8 yards of the box and fire it? You don't have to be a great shooter to make that. So, yeah. DeVries, he's up to 2.5 stars now. He's got 3.5 star potential. Glad heading one out on a free kick. Nuhu's going to start the counterattack. Bombs it ahead to Adi. 1-on-2 with the defense. He's got some help streaming forward. Senora back post. Easy goal. Again, the goalkeeper left out to dry. 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. 29 minutes down. This is ridiculous. We are steamrolling towards our first ever trophy. Look at all the guys in front. I mean, if the Senora wanted to be cheeky, he could have passed it to any one of the wide open guys in front of goal, but he decided to score himself. Just outstanding. I think this game has showed you, how our depth this season has paid off. We've got a lot of backups in the game right now. I mean, guys who are technically backups, and they're crushing it. They're killing it. Colorado just doesn't have the depth to deal with us. When you look at us bringing guys off the bench like Blackman and Richards and Halashe, Richie Salvador, our top prospect, 18 years old. He's pretty good. Senora's a starter. Crispum is technically a backup to Acosta, right? I mean, look at this guy. He's really good. So, we got a lot going on. We got a lot of positives. Maybe we don't have as good of players. Like we don't have anybody really as good as Hindeman. Maybe you could say Adi is as good, but that's debatable. But we got the depth, and that's what I've been trying to cultivate all season. Very pleased. Let's go. Start the second half. Quality of depth can help us get through these long MLS seasons. It's weird because we don't play as many games as other leagues around the world, but our schedules is so weirdly packed with, Champions League this year and U.S. Cup making it all the way to the final, and then just the MLS schedule gets wacky and weird and wild because of international breaks and all that stuff. You just need the depth and also the travel. Everybody knows about the travel that you have to face in the U.S. It's different, especially different than Premier League or the Bundesliga or places like that. It's just different when you have to travel, tens of thousands of miles every season in terms of total travel. Going back and forth East Coast to West Coast. Now, the good news for Cincinnati is we're sort of in the middle of the country, so we don't have any of those massive coastal swings every single game, but we do still have them. There'll be times where here's a play into Adi. Goal. Senora just picking them apart. 5-0. Might be time to bring in some of the youngsters. Senora just sort of, playing with it out there on a string. Past Hindeman. Into Adi. Defense, once again, standing there looking fairly inept. All right, 60-minute point. Let's bring in draft pick here, Woutien Hembut, the Lansing United star. Then who do we have? I mean, look who we got on the bench. We don't really have a lot of players. It's not like we have a ton of substitutes to bring on the bench. I mean, I guess we can bring on Kloot for Nuhu. Nuhu's looking a tiny bit tired, but there we go. I guess we can call off the dogs too. Here's Hembut going forward. 1-on-4. Looking, drops it back for Senora. Oh, he tried a cheeky back poster. De Vries was there. Now here's Thompson sending one forward for Gonsalves. He beats the defense. And he beats Stefan to get one back. Alright. Tactics. Let's drop back to our possession style. Shorter passing, time wasting, work the ball in the box. In transition, regroup. No. No. Out of possession standard. Yeah. We can drop back even a little. All right. That looks good. We'll call off the dogs. Hindeman, Acosta. Looks like they're finally starting to get some possession and move forward. McKenna. Chara. They got a lot of their star players still in the game. Oops. There's a bit of a rough tackle there. That's fine. Acosta and Hindeman are playing terribly. Maybe they're not up for big games. That could be an issue. Look at Blackman with a little back heel out of bounds. The crowd booing that little bit of, the little show of flair. You can't blame them, I guess. Hindeman sends one in. Richards heads it out. Crispin's going to start the counterattack. He's got a ton of space. He's going to use it. He's dribbling forward, waiting for Adi to get downfield, get open. There's a good tackle from Thompson. Crispin, he's got pretty good pace. 14 pace is all right. You know, that'll beat most players. 67 minutes. Colorado's trying to make it interesting. Trying to put some pressure on us. Not doing particularly well at the moment as they work backwards. Schoberg. They've got a lot of players on their team who are unhappy, I noticed. And, you know, some of them out for transfer. Here's Acosta out wide. Did they move Acosta to fullback? They may have. Blackman with the great tackle, which is what he's there for. That's why we drafted him. Highlight continues. This is like the longest highlight ever. I don't know what to make of this. Colorado's playing with it. Again, Acosta out wide at the fullback position. Sends one in. McKenna off the post. Clute. Okay. No, not that. Not that. Opposition instructions. Yeah, so Acosta has been moved out to left back. We're still pressing him just fine. Should be covering him a little more tightly than we currently are. But let's make sure we know who's in there. Thompson, cover him. Diego Chara now at attacking midfield. So they brought Chara in, moved Acosta back to fullback. That shows you his versatility. He can do a lot of stuff. But I don't know that he could score 4 goals. Here we are, wasting time. Trying to build up an attack. Richards, old number 99, taking his time. Crispin moves it forward to DeVries. Got Clute on the overlap, but Arnold gets the tackle. Diekmeyer now. Plenty of space. Not sure what Clute is doing. Plays the ball forward. Glad. He's got some nice pace. He was able to get back and beat the striker. Colorado. Still playing, still moving it forward. Are we like looking at some tactical changes or something? I don't know. I don't think so. Changes will take effect at the next break in play. Acosta sends one in. Diekmeyer on the rebound. Gets the second goal. Stefan with a great stop on the first attempt. But then we couldn't clear it. Who was it that failed to clear it? Right there. He bounces it off Diekmeyer. Yeah. Proceed with tactical changes. There's another tactical change I wanted to make, which was narrower defensive width. Seems like they're trying to break us down the middle. All right, 72 minutes. It's 5-2. Let's not lose our heads out there. Let's concentrate, boys. We suddenly got overwhelmed by being told to concentrate. You know, they're starting to get a momentum, and the game's not over. 5-2 is, you know, not completely insurmountable. Worst weird things have happened. All right, clock's starting to roll now. So that's good. It's the first time it's happened like all half is where the clock is just rolling. Here we go. Throwing Colorado deep in their own half. Great pass forward to Diekmeyer. Been letting him sort of roam free. Great tackle by Richie Salvador. He gets one forward to Hembut. Hembut 1-on-6. Is forced to drop it back to Crispum. Richie Salvador's got some room. Out wide to DeVries, who takes it inside. Crispum's got Clute on the overlap and uses him. Clute dives inside. What is that all about? He had plenty of space on the outside, but he chose to dive inside. Thompson's going to take on the rookie out there, Diekmeyer. Totally offside. 1,000% offside, correct? Somebody keep him onside. Look, here he is, here he is, here he is. I don't know, that's close. Let's see the third replay. Let's see the, can we see the offside replay, please? Oh, I guess he was onside. Okay. 5-3. Clock running though, 87 minutes. Hopefully we can get out of here with a 2-goal victory. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Okay, feeling a bit safer. Midfield is a little tired, but, you know, we're going to have to play it out. All right, here we go. 20 seconds to go. Blackman with the throw-in. Loops one in for Sonora. This should be it. Should be the final gun. Richie Salvador bombs it forward to Hembut. He's made a nice target, you know, in the second half since he's come in. He's got a few balls downfield. He's completely unfit in terms of match sharpness. So, you know, from what little he's been able to do, he hasn't made any major mistakes. So, you know, it's a good outing. There we go. Trophy, championship. We get the confetti. We get the grandstands. We get somebody bouncing around with the cup. There we go. Thank you, Colorado, for throwing that little party for us. We appreciate it. There we are. U.S. Cup champions for the 2020 season. And that means more Champions League to come next season. Game's a little more even than it looks. I mean, it's incredibly even. 16 shots to 15. 8 shots on target to 8. 15 fouls to 15 fouls. They had 3 yellow cards. We had none. 50% possession for each team. So it's, on paper, it looked incredibly even. But, you know, we jumped out to that massive lead in the first half. And there just wasn't any coming back from that. So outstanding game, boys. I don't know what happened in the second half, but, you know, it's acceptable. They seem demotivated, but you know what? We're holding them to a higher standard. Sometimes, there we go. Achievement unlocked. Cup glory. We have won our first ever championship. Let's take a look at our history. Oh, it hasn't shown up yet. Can we get to the inbox? There we go. Cincinnati win the U.S. Cup. Certainly look back, great wins along the way, notably the 4-2 triumph against San Jose. Remember, that was when San Jose was at the top of the league. They were number 1 going into that, and we beat them pretty handily 4-2, so that was good. Cincinnati lift the U.S. Cup, that's right. We win $300,000. That's not bad for winning the Cup final. Now, if we were still down in like USL League 1 or wherever we came from, then that would be a huge chunk of change. But as far as our finances go, it's just sort of nice little icing on the cake. Nation leads Cincinnati to glory. Early editions of the fanzine commented that Nation has shown staunch commitment to the supporters by winning this trophy. That's right, the U.S. Cup is, you know, basically the competition that launched Cincinnati into the mainstream of American sports and got everybody to notice this little team in FC Cincinnati. Crispum catches the eye. 2 goals and an assist. That's definitely praiseworthy. Superb with your quality of chances. Way to go. US Cup review. Yeah. Fine. Finances still doing strong. 12.7 million. We're currently spending a little bit over our payroll budget. That's been par for the course basically all season. Do we get our trophy yet? Let's see the trophy. No trophy. They're not going to give us a trophy until the end of the season. That's too bad. We are, though, untouchable compared, or in the eyes of the board. 93%. Board believe you're doing an unbelievable job. Clearly putting a smile on the face of every single supporter. Long may it last. Yes. Yes, indeed. Do we want to ask them for anything? Facilities, improved data analysts, finance, decrease. There's not much we can ask them for. They've pretty much given us everything we could ever want. How's our contract looking? Contract is in... Yeah, we just got a new contract, so it's until 2022. So there's nothing left to do, nothing left to ask for. We'll take a look at the schedule real quick. Got a series of home games. 3 home games coming up. Philadelphia, LA, Seattle, and then away to San Jose. Look at the competitions. Big games. Big games. Philadelphia, top of the Eastern Conference with 64 points. We are barely within striking range. We could possibly overtake them if some things happened. San Jose, likewise, top of the league, 64 points. So we got 2 games coming up versus teams at the top of the league. LA Galaxy is no slouch. And then, what was the other team? Seattle. Seattle maybe is a little farther down. Yeah. Seattle is 24th in the league. Not so good. So, we'll come back for some of those games. I mean, we'll probably have to do the Philadelphia game. You know, that's going to be a huge game in the Eastern Conference. If we lose that game, then we're not going to win the Eastern Conference, and we're probably definitely not going to win the Supporters' Shield. So these 4 games, if we win them all, there's a slim chance we could win the Eastern Conference, a slim chance we could win the Supporters' Shield. But if not, we're still going to make the playoffs. We still got US Cup victory, so it's still been a very good season. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.